Hello, I'm Hope Witkowsky. On today's episode of Senior Scene, we're going to be talking to seniors and professional healthcare people to learn about how seniors are getting around without the privilege of driving. Luckily, Torrance has lots of opportunities that you may not know about. So sit back, enjoy the ride, and learn a lot on today's episode of Senior Scene. Marcy Taguchi is a great example of most older adults who always love the freedom to come and go when and where they wish. As we know, nothing stays the same forever. Aging affects different people in different ways.
I love driving because it gave me the freedom to go wherever I want, when I want. It was very convenient. But when I retired, I was driving the freeway also. But I was starting to find it quite stressful because I realized with age my driving skills has diminished and my reflexes were not as good, and I realized how dangerous it could be. And that's the toll that that age takes on you. So I've decided to give up freeway driving.
Dr. Clark Sutherland serves in the Comprehensive Care Center at Healthcare Partners in Torrance and is a specialist in clinical trials with seniors.
There actually are several health conditions that we see in our older patient population that makes us concerned about driving issues, and many common conditions that you're probably familiar with, such as high blood pressure, diabetes, heart conditions, neurologic conditions such as dementia, some conditions such as syncope, which is fainting episodes, would be something that we would target as a concern in terms of older patients that are driving. So many of the common conditions that we treat daily in the clinic have a direct impact on patients' ability to drive. Driving really is a privilege, and when we develop health conditions that really impact our ability to drive, you simply can't view your driving as a right because safety issues arise. Safety issues not only for yourself, but for the other people on the road.
Seniors like Taguchi are taking responsibility and making those decisions before it's too late. More and more seniors are realizing that they have reservations about their ability to drive, leading them to cut down on their driving or stop altogether.
I gave up freeway driving, and I was looking for another means of transportation because I love the freedom of traveling anywhere I wanted. And then I discovered the Torrance transit system by going on one of the Torrance trips. And it made me realize that, I could get there, although it's going to take a little bit more time than a car. It would get me there for 25 cents a ride. And that was a great bonus for me too, because especially going downtown, you have to pay for parking, you have to deal with the traffic, and the hassle wasn't worth it, and it was too stressful. And when I was downtown, I was really able to enjoy myself because I didn't have to worry about getting back on the freeway, coming back home.
Despite doctors' orders to stay off the road due to impaired vision or physical inabilities to safely operate a vehicle, oftentimes it takes the effort of local law enforcement to remind all drivers that getting behind the wheel truly is a privilege and not a right. According to Lieutenant Steve DeAnjou of the Torrance Police Department, there were only 24 accidents reported in Torrance involving seniors in 2010. And in the event that a senior is pulled over for questionable driving, officers will write a DMV notice of reexamination and send that to DMV. In the case of a more serious situation and a senior is involved in a collision, the driver will be given a notice of suspension until cleared by DMV. If they fail to complete this requirement, their license will be revoked.
We understand a lot of seniors, if they lose the privilege to drive, they feel like a right's been taken away, or something that they need to survive in today's society. The fact of the matter is, in the state of California, driving is a privilege, not a right. And when you're talking from a law enforcement perspective, we have a duty to the entire community to ensure safety to the biggest extent possible. And when persons are driving on the roads in the city of Torrance, we have a duty to make sure that they're safe, whether they be elderly drivers, young drivers that aren't quite skilled enough, whatever the case may be. Our officers have a duty to ensure that every driver on the road is as safe as possible.
In Torrance, law enforcement as well as public transportation authorities are finding that local seniors are taking advantage of the various programs offered to seniors who don't drive. And rides to neighboring communities and locations like the Hollywood Bowl and LAX are making it even more appealing to be chauffeured around. Taguchi is one of 1,152 seniors, with a total of 18,000 non-seniors taking advantage of Torrance public transit. She says it's a great way to get to where she needs to go in a timely and safe manner.
I love Torrance Transit because there's one line that takes me directly to the airport, and I find going to the airport very stressful because of the traffic.
The city of Torrance has one of the most comprehensive public transit systems in the county. The first bus to hit the pavement in Torrance was in 1940 for the cost of 5 cents a ride. Now, still at the low cost of a quarter, you can get around our city and even get to the Los Angeles airport. Recently, Torrance was recognized for an innovative program that teaches new riders how to ride the public transportation safely. The Ambassador program is made up of volunteer seniors who have been taught by the city staff on all the elements they need to know in order to teach new senior bus riders.
I love the Torrance Transit, so I decided to become a Torrance Transit ambassador. The first trip we went on was to Redondo Beach, and I was so impressed with that ride that I thought, and then Donna, who works for Torrance Transit, was asking for volunteers to say, okay, who would like to be an ambassador and help other seniors ride the bus? So I thought, oh, this is a good program, and so I was maybe the first one to volunteer.
The Torrance Ambassador Program started in 2010. Senior volunteers help senior passengers navigate the public transit system. These volunteers are easy to recognize in their green windbreakers and special transit ID card. The card provides them a free fare and allows them free fare while they bring seniors they are introducing to our bus system. Torrance has continued to revamp the designs of our buses over the years to make them accessible to people who have special mobility needs.
Well, I work for the city of Torrance. I was a bus driver, and after I was ready to retire, I was looking for things to do volunteer work, and they told me about the ambassador program and how they encourage other seniors to take the bus, and I said, hey, that's something that I could do. So here I am.
That's great. And I would like to ask you, Edith, what made you decide to become a Torrance ambassador for the Torrance Transit?
Well, I decided to become an ambassador because I had ridden the buses and I thought they were great. I also work at the transit office in Torrance. I'm a volunteer there, and I think the whole system is really great.
Well, I've gone on several trips, 5 or 10, or something like that, and I've gone with them and helped them find the bus that they need to ride on and travel along with them to the airport and other places. And so it enabled them to find a different way of getting to locations that they might like to go to and not have to drive or seek help from other people.
And how about you? What made you decide to become a Torrance Transit ambassador?
Well, after I retired as an engineer, I live in Redondo and I volunteered for services in Redondo. and I heard about the Torrance facilities here. And so I volunteered. I was looking to volunteer for some service, and I found out about the ambassador, and I really enjoy being with these people and going on these trips and always looking for customers for the bus.
And Marcy, we have seen you already, and here you are standing with all the other ambassadors. How does it make you feel to be in the presence of all these wonderful other volunteers?
Oh, I'm really impressed with them. They do such a great job, and it's really fun working with them too.
Torrance Transit also designs its buses to assist those with special mobility needs. The bus lowers to the curb, and an electric ramp gives those in wheelchairs or walkers the ease of getting into the bus. Bus route maps can be found in all Torrance libraries, senior centers, and City Hall to help travelers plan their trip with ease, whether it's to the grocery store or to LAX. And like Dr. Soderlin and Lieutenant DeAnjou said, driving truly is a privilege. It's important for older adults like you and I to know when it's a danger to get behind the wheel. There's other ways to get around in Torrance, like our wonderful Torrance Transit system. I hope you've learned a lot today. I'm Hope Witkowsky. Stay tuned next time to Senior Scene to learn more secrets to successful aging.